CS greetings, CSGOers. It's me, Extremes, with everybody's favorite boy, Profeci.
Certainly somebody's got to dislike me. I can't be that nice. I mean, even people hate The Rock, so...
Something like that. But hey, this is ESEA main North America, and it is the game from Friday morning with Bravado Gaming versus Fam143. And, well, we weren't able to get up early enough for it because the message came through a little bit too late. I think it was already 2 o'clock in the morning by the time we found out the game was actually happening, and it's kind of hard to wake up at 4. Well, 3:30 to cast the game at 4. So what we're doing is we're recording it. We haven't watched the game, so all authentic casting. It's just not live.
Yeah, bit of a different one. We probably will not be pausing and going back to replay any cool highlights, but we can talk about the nonsense that is live for all intents and purposes as Fam143 smoke and 2 flashes, and Detri's going to start things off well there, but go down immediately afterwards as Next Level gets his first kill, second kill actually, that'll be removing JT.
Oh,
elusive, sexy shot that.
That was some punishment there that was being dished out. 3v3 at this point. J-Chance dancing around. Or should we say J-Chance? Because it's in America.
J-Chance. We're not American.
Damn it. Why do we sing songs in American accents then in South Africa? I've never understood that.
Because in order for the song to make sense, you have to sing it in an American accent.
Look at the theory coming out here. Meanwhile, they have a theory about how they can get into this bomb site, and I think they might be wrong. Look at Elusive. He catches both of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, Elusive is the executioner of Bravado in this round. Double tap to the back of the head for 2 players there. As I mean, you could almost call him a member of the Boondock Saints, as it's not a fun feeling for the Fam143 guys, hoping to try and get sneaky, and it's not going to work. Elusive living up to the name there, as Fady goes down, but Elusive should clear it up, and he does. Body shots more than enough for him in this round.
Gets the quad kill, so he's going to be feeling pretty good about that. I'm detecting a little bit of lag on my side. I don't know if you're having it too. I thought we fixed it, but it seems to still be there, so apologies. We've tried. We tried to record this the other day, and it did the same thing. We've now done some fixes, tested it, it was fine, and now it's doing it again. So you'll see a little bit of lag on the player models, but hey, what can we do about it?
Yeah, unfortunately, CSGO has many rather frustrating faults, but we can't really do a whole lot about a lot of them, so we shall live with it at this point and watch what should be a Detrini spray down. He's got 4 members of Fam143 heading his way. No armor on any of them, so it should be a cleanup.
Should be tapping away there. Gets the 1 kill. And there's Detrini. Actually, didn't get the 1 kill, did he? But Detrini doing all the heavy lifting. Quad kill for him there too. And it seems like the veterans like getting their quad kills early in this game.
Yeah, that's a wonderful start for Detrini Elusive. Obviously, Detrini has, if anybody hasn't been following social media, he has actually been moved off of the AWP. And you can see they've moved him into the old spot that Fady used to play, and then they moved Sonic into there after a single game with JT. So Bravado really trying everything since they're rather poor showing at WESG. Hopefully the boys can turn it around. But as it is, Detrini not with the weapon that made him famous, as we're going to start things off with Elusive and a famous headshot in Siberia there. Anzo getting aggressive, will grab himself Fady, but Detrini comes flying down the drop area, and he's going to grab himself 2 quick kills. Actually, that'll be JT grabbing the double. And very well played there by Bravado. Aggression from 143 matched by the aggression from the South Africans.
Yeah, very nice work overall there, and money's still not great there for Fam143, so yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily the best idea.
Yeah, trying to just get a jump on Bravado. 2 flat out, I mean, usually if you're going to be buying in the 3rd round, you'd have a bomb plant. That never happens, so try to take a chance, get the jump on BVD. Definitely didn't work out very well for them though.
Now they've got nothing but Glocks and a P250, and they get 1 kill with the P250, and I think that's all they're going to get. Sonic shutting them down. He's the guy who's not tapped to be the main AWPer. Gets the double kill there. How do you think he's going to do on the AWP?
It's a very different style to Detrini. Detrini loves that aggressive peek into the angles, whereas Sonic is more of the hold angle, flick shot from there type AWPer. It does mean that he's less likely to take over an entire game, but he does shut down pushes a lot more effectively, I think, than Detrini was capable of.
Yeah, a player who can do a lot, and he's going to be called upon to do a lot in his career, yeah, and he's doing plenty already. Gets himself one, jeez, before being traded off. I thought he might get another there with the run up the ladder, but now next level, catching off elusive as well. 4-on-3 at this situation. JT under a bit of pressure here, and stands up really well, bringing it back to the 3v3 now. He knows that some players close to him, and he's going to get two of them in a ridiculous spray. JT, what was that?
That was JT at his finest. Very, very good aimer. Loves the, he's got that high sense, and I mean, you'd think that would allow him or prevent him from getting some good spray downs. And JT there, they're just decapitating one player as he wrecks the other. So very, very well played there by the young boy. And 8-1. He's having a storming start to this game, as is Bravado, 5-0. And this is actually out of sequence. Usually you'd expect this to be the first full buy, or the proper full buy. But the team of Sonic is going to walk into another headshot there.
Oh, he's going to be laying peacefully there after having his brain splattered all over the floor. And that is, well, the walls, shall I say. And that is a free AWP for them as well, so they could do some damage. It's still 5-0 to Bravado. Fam 143 haven't really had much of a look in this game so far, but with that AWP,
that nade. Yeah.
Oh.
No armor. No armor. It really, really hurts. Laffy Tees is going to take 84 damage. That bomb, well, that grenade basically landed on his head,
Nice
and Detrony with the fancy footwork. Yeah, well played there by Bravado. Some good teamwork getting that kill.
Feels bad, fam. You can kind of say
Terrible,
that all day, right?
No. Not unless you're G-Max.
Yep, this is true. I've never said fam before up until that point, and I never plan to do it again. Detrony, well, he tries to do what he did earlier again, which is get himself a multi-kill, but only able to get the 2 in the end, the 1 on the entry. Fady knows where they are. This last player's got the AWP, so it's going to depend on the timing, but the timing is going to favor Elusives. They lose quite a few players, but they're still able to round it out, and he didn't pick up the AWP. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, they do have tons of cash, though, so Bravado won't be too stressed about that. Interesting that Detrony just couldn't control the spray there in the end. I think he should have been good for at least 2 kills, and he's actually going to be the designated secondary AWP. I think that's a decent position for Detrony. It does allow him to get aggressive when Bravado can afford it, and it can provide just that extra dimension when you do need to have the game. And once again, Ultra Aggression is going to be holding the stance at B on the ramp. And once again, Fam 143 just sort of running into Bravado's crosshairs. JT and Fady. They're at a shooting range at the moment and just hitting everything, it seems.
Just feels like Fam 143 can't even buy around at this stage. They're just getting mowed down. And in terms of what they're showing, yeah, there's not really much of a plan on offer. It's just running into the crosshairs of Bravado.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like this is a map that Fam 143 knows anything about. And Bravado clearly a team that has, at stages in South Africa, been the best team on this map. They've historically done pretty well on it throughout the history of the team, as well as Elusive. Well, his history now, as next level removes him from the play.
Of course, that's a numbers advantage to the T's, and if it does come to the retake sort of scenario, Sonic, that flash and that peak, what was that?
That was just Sonic showing his cojones.
Oh, there's Enzo. They're pretty big too.
Yeah. He's going to be setting off some metal detectors at an airport soon with that kind of play. No flash to help him out there, just sort of fell down and wrecked 2 of the Bravado players. And it's all up to Sonic and Detrony. The double AWP combination is the time to be used, and Sonic is basically shutting this round down all by himself. He's actually got control of the bomb, and Fam 143, those huge plays down drop by Anzo mean absolutely nothing right now.
Yeah, those were some heroics. Of course, it didn't throw the flash to try catch them off, and it did catch them off. No sound cues, and they were both looking the wrong way. So, a bit of an oversight there from BVD. Sonic now going for the battle. Does win it as well. He has the bomb too. It's going to be a miracle play from next level here to actually win this. You almost feel like he needs to just get like a crazy Hail Mary through the smoke shot or something. But yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, Bravado well aware of what he's going to be attempting. And we'll get the boost and shoot him over that. So Detrony, I mean, I said earlier that he wasn't able to control his spray. It doesn't really matter a whole lot when you're 12-2 at this point. Bravado running roughshod over Fam 143 at this point.
Indeed. That was a curious situation. You'd think you know, with the boost coming in, it's the young guy going up on the older guy's shoulders, you know, father and son sort of thing. But no, it was Detrony on the shoulders of Sonic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sonic has often been called to carry Bravado. That used to be Detrony's old position, so I think it's one last little bit of help for the old veteran, if you could say that.
Yeah, we're scraping the barrel of the jokes that we have available. We've obviously been casting a lot lately. We were also at the Elite Pro 1337 LAN over the weekend in Nelspruit. I was cast at VS Masters immediately after getting back with Penguin, so lots of casting. Somehow we do still have some things in it, like sort of kept away for a rainy day such as this, but we're going to run out eventually, right?
Well, hopefully. There's only so many bad jokes the world can accept.
So, something that Fam 143 seem to not be that accepting of, considering the match pause that's come in. They've been taking stick. They haven't won a round. They've not even been close to it. They need to reverse that
They haven't even
trend.
gotten a bomb plant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how bad it is. BVD is just completely in control of this map, dominating every single aspect. Fam 143 clearly just not very comfortable on this map at all. And it is one of those tough maps. If you're not used to playing it, it can end up being something like an overpass where a good team on it can just blow you out purely because your T-side is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and their T side hasn't been much of anything so far. They've decided to force buy here, which I guess is fine considering they're chasing the game so much. There's no reason to really worry too much about economic management at this point. It's also loss bonus, so even with the force buy, they'll get a pretty full buy in the next round. For Bravado Gaming, the double AWP lives, and I guess the one, saving grace you could say for Fan 143 here is if they do manage to do what they've been doing so far, which is basically running at Bravado. If they catch an AWP off, they could get a bomb site in their hands.
Yeah, the problem is they just haven't shown to actually get that far. The one time that it looked like there was a possibility in the last round, Sonic just completely shut down the bomb because the bomb was peeking him directly through Ivy as Fady once again on the train and showcasing. He is the hard entry for the team.
It is.
Congratulations, and Elusive just shoots him through the smoke just to point out. Oh, never mind. Siberia's got himself an AWP. Anzo's got himself 2 kills on JT and Fady, and this is a big problem for Bravado. I mean, we were talking about Detrony as the old master. He is also the clutch king of South Africa, so can he get it done? Yeah, traffic jam in smoke. Anzo is going to catch Detrony at close range, and that's 3 kills with that CZ and a double AWP setup for free for Fam 143.
I'm sure when you picked up that AWP, you was like, oh, crap. That's probably not what they wanted, but they won the round anyway. The double AWP will live in the hands of Fam 143, and that was a combination of some tremendous luck and the CZ proving to be OP, basically.
Yeah, Sonic getting caught out early, they actually came back to bite them as he gave up the AWP and just allowed Siberia to get an angle on the Bravado players they weren't expecting there. So 2 of them go down, and in the end, an easy kill for Fam 143.
Easy does it. Double AWP versus double AWP. This is G2 versus their clone team, basically. Because you don't ever see this, do you?
Very, very rarely. And Sonic is going to try the timing shot. It's not going to work out.
Sonic's probably quite a solid player to have in a position like this, because he's one of those guys who will be aggressive, but it's very measured aggression from him. So, you know, he's not going to give his life away that easily, usually. And he's not the guy you want to be running into.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is Ivy's one of the more difficult maps, or one of the more difficult spots to play in CSGO. It often you can just get completely wrecked by timing on the area.
Oh, so aggression.
Yeah, timing from Elusive is up to the task because he's going to shoot Siberia in the face there.
Well, this is kind of a useless rotate now. He gets a very nice shot there, but they have all the information. They know that this is potentially a fake, so the drop-down pop, they'll be listening for it. It shouldn't catch them off, but there is chaos reigning, and the kills are raining in here for BVD. What?
Okay. All right, Fady.
Okay. Please don't. Okay, thank you. I thought they were going to stay with the triple off there. You could see he was thinking about it as well, and then the gears turned enough to where he realized it's a bad idea.
Yeah, he probably picked it up thinking that one of his AWPs had died, but that had never occurred. So, I mean, I still don't think Fam 143 is aware of the fact that Detrony is playing so aggressively on B, and that has actually shattered their money. which is the real problem for the Americans at this point. 9-1 in favor of Bravado, and it's not going to get any easier with this round. Very, very low economy. They do have double AKs though. Maybe they can do something, and they're not going to catch out Sonic this time. The Molly will burn him, but JT's already saved his life for that. So Fam143 going to run into JT's crosshair, and it's one of the less favored crosshairs to run into if you have any knowledge of the young man. So 2-on-2 somehow, as Fam143 is going to go down. JT gets him. That'll be J-Chance, and the last remaining player will be Laffy Tees. He's got 11 HP, a Dream, and an AK-47. Can he make it work? I don't think so. Fady just moving into a better spot, and Detrony with that AWP.
They're quite low though, so that's maybe the one thing that might help him out here. The positions they're playing though are definitely not tailored towards them taking any kind of aggression. They're rather waiting for him to try to plant before they try fight him. Maybe they're not aware of how low he is.
Maybe. I mean, the one big plus for Fam143 is that this would break Bravado back as well. They're not sitting in a fantastic economic position, but as soon as he plants that bomb, I think Fady is going to spring the trap. Laffy Tees can't check everything. He's going to have to take the gamble, and you do kind of feel for him.
He's going to make a noise now dropping off if he's not careful. Oh, he wasn't careful.
Make the noise. Detrony's gotten the news. And Laffy Tees delivers himself like a well-groomed English breakfast.
Well-groomed? They're always greasy, man. What are you talking about?
Are they? I think you've had bad English breakfast then.
10-1. Bravado Gaming, commanding lead. Looking pretty good so far. Fam143 looking pretty clueless. And if they're going to get any rounds here, they're going to need to do something different, because Bravado have got all the information, as you said, thanks to the aggressiveness of Detrony, and also when they are throwing the fakes, they're telegraphing it terribly. Ooh, this might actually help them. He tags the first one, not able to get the second, gets himself a third and a fourth. Is it going to be an ace for Detrony? It looked like it fell apart after he missed the shot, and then he just wrecked them with a P250. What is this?
That's just Detrony styling on fools, I guess. Molly and a P250, who would have guessed that's enough for an ace?
Oh my word, I'm just shaking my head at this. That's not the sort of thing that should happen at this sort of level. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say exactly how good Fam143 is. Obviously, we haven't been able to watch any of the other games. I don't think this is the level of the team. And looks like Detrony is going to get ultra aggressive and take out next level. That's the second time Bravado's tried it. First time it succeeded. And you can see he's getting so damn aggressive. That is Detrony's style. He loves getting in your face. Sonic, however, is going to caught out by Siberia, getting up in his face. And that's not going to be a good one for the Bravado marksman.
Quite brave there from Fady to move out in that way. He could have been caught had the player stayed out at Electric Box, and there's Siberia catching both of them. 3 of them, in fact. Headshots. We haven't seen that out of him so far.
No, and Siberia himself is on the ace. He'll be desperately trying to get a hold of that. Detrony. Just going to look for some fights. Yes, they'll just smoke him off. I mean, I don't really think he should be going for this. He probably should try and just save the AWP so that they can make certain they can buy as well as possible. J-Chance steals the ace.
You asshole, you mugged me. That's basically what just happened there. But do you think J-Chance thinks he's config or something? I mean, Magic's voice, so shall I say? The SG553. I guess getting my Danes mixed up. Let's go with NBK then. That's easier.
Yeah, I don't really know why he's doing that. It's, as you mentioned, like Megas tried it for like a while, 2 years ago. NBK was on an attempt to use it as Laffy T tries attempts to get the shot down. It's not going to happen. Bravado still have more than enough money to buy a fully here though. And Detrony, that peak is getting a little bit over attempted, I think now. Sonic is smart, standing ahead of the smoke. He's going to catch out J-Chance now. Does just disappear back straight through the smoke, and Fam143 will be very upset. Not for long though, as JT gets absolutely brained.
Siberia looking dialed in at the moment, but it's taking him a long time to get to this point, and Sonic extinguishing all those thoughts by blowing his brain to smithereens.
Yeah, Sonic looking good at the moment, as he's going to spot himself next level and keep collecting heads. He is on a bit of a tear at the moment. He's going to grab himself Anzo as well. Laffy teases the last remaining player. And Sonic himself is on the ace, and he will pick it up. Bravado double aces in a single half. And Fam143 have been hit by yet another train. This will be the last round of the half, and they will not have much of anything to buy into it.
This is basically my favorite GIF on Twitter. The little kid running into a brick wall. It's just, this is what it is.
Basically is Bravado. I mean, it's not even like they're doing anything really fancy. There's some good shots from the Bravado players, but Fam143 is really not making life hard for them either. Oh, Sonic cooks himself. That was just, I think, taking too much of a chance.
J-Chance. Both having the same thought there, and he's going to get the kill. Making it work for himself, Detrony trading off here, but long range with that weapon. He's got the scope to work with, doesn't work up close though. And it's on next level with this Deagle. It's a dangerous weapon if he finds the headshots, but he's under a ton of pressure and he's roasting. Don't think he's going to be long for this world, and he isn't. Detrony gonna extinguish him and try extinguish the flames unsuccessfully, but he'll still get the diffuse nonetheless.
And that'll be the end of the half. 13-2 Bravado. I mean, I would say control, but this seems more like... This is when that like schoolyard bully rocks up and you're like 3 years old or 5 years old and he's like 6. So he's slightly bigger than you, but he just completely wrecks you. And I mean, Fam143 just have no clue how to play the T side of this map.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Prof.
Never happened to me. I was too cool for that.
Too cool for school.
No, I still got school.
So, Bravado Gaming 13-2 at ESEA main Europe, and not Europe actually, North America. I'm so used to saying Europe because of all the European games we've been doing. And speaking about European games, we've casted Valiance and Co before, including Hunter, who is, as you pointed out today, Nico's brother, the Bosnian.
We didn't know that. Yeah, we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, they actually beat Heroic over the weekend, so they looked like an absolute train wreck on train last week. I think it was against, was it Nariki Esports?
Yeah, I believe it was Nariki Esports that they kind of fell apart against.
And then they wrecked Heroic on the map yesterday in the best of 3 and won the Inferno as well pretty comprehensively. So good to see that ESEA main teams are capable of competing with Pro League teams.
Yeah, you'd also wonder how much strategy was put into beating Heroic there, since I don't think it would be unreasonable to say that Hunter had a really great desire to play against his brother on LAN.
Yeah, I don't think Valiance and Co versus FaZe Clan will necessarily be that even, but I guess we shall see. That's for DreamHack Masters Marseille, which Bravado also were involved with the open qualifiers for, but unfortunately this time losing to Team Dignitas, who they beat before. But of course, the Team Dignitas in this competition not limited with the age limits of the ESL Pro League, so Snakes was allowed to play, and I think that might have made a big difference for them.
Yeah, Bravado unfortunately didn't have a great game. I think it was what, Mirage at its Mirage 16-5, 16-8, I forget now exactly, but 16-6. Yeah, Bravado, I don't know. It's just a bit of a rough game for them. As J-Chance will grab himself the first kill. It's a rough start for Fady, as we mentioned that. Elusive gets decked by one of his players, but somehow he's able to fight through it and kill off J-Chance.
Siberia now looking ice cold and ready to pop some heads. He looked pretty good so in that first half on occasion, but unfortunately those occasions were few and far between.
Yeah, interesting. The Bravado's actually got 2 players with smokes, and this might be the plan. I think it's probably going to be a fake. As the flash comes through, Elusive. Ooh, close. And Bravado's actually used both of their smokes, maybe trying to get out onto A side. That's interesting usage. Siberia gets himself JT, and Sonic is on hand for the return kill +1. Bravado in a well-placed situation. Take this second pistol.
Nice off angle from Sonic as well. Get himself another triple kill. He's looked good so far on this map. And it's all on next level now. Next level TV, so you got to assume he's a streamer. And one highlight for his stream, and that was it.
Yeah, I was going to say he gets the first kill, but unfortunately Sonic with a 4K. And Bravado seems to be only dealing in 4Ks or aces at this point. It really is pretty brutal what they've been able to do to FAM143.
Nobody on a negative KD at all for Bravado. Detrony on 24 and 5, which is just ludicrous. Sonic pretty close behind on 17 and 6, and well, 3 players yet to crack double digits for FAM143. And all the long range shots from Laffy Tees. He gets himself a couple. The scout also ringing out, and this is just absolutely unraveling here for Bravado.
Yeah, fantastic long range digging there by Laffy Tees, and next level backing him up. It's all up to JT and Detrony to win this. There are a couple of players on low HP, so it could turn things around, but Siberia is the snake in the grass, and that snake bites badly. JT goes down.
I'm getting cranky PTSD from the weekend, from the Elite Pro LAN with that pink CZ. So many rounds where you wrecked faces there of Elite Pro with the pink CZ.
That was pretty terrible. CZ was filthy.
Filthy so far for Bravado Gaming, but winning cleanly nonetheless. 14-3. FAM143 on the buy, of course, and J-Chance continuing with the crazy buys. He's buying the AUG on CT side. I haven't seen anybody do that since Neo, I think, in 2015.
Yeah, there's a player or two that pulls it out every now and then, but usually they realize fairly quickly that it's really just not a good gun.
I think its main weakness to me is just how long the reload time is. It will really let you hang you out to dry, shall I say, if you're in the wrong sort of spot. And oof, that was quite a nice headshot from it. So, and actually an attractive skin. Very few skins actually look nice on this gun.
Yeah, the aristocrat. J-Chance. Oh, he's going to spot himself Detrony, and he's going to punish his young servant Detrony. Well, I have no idea what I'm saying there. That was just terrible. Fady, Sonic, the last remaining players, they have Glocks at range. Pretty much the worst position to be in. And Sonic, carbon copy. Carbon copy of what happened to Detrony.
Yeah, I'm still laughing at you, young servant joke. That was fantastically inappropriate, but hey. Enzo rounding it out. Nobody dying there for FAM143, so they are getting back into it. Maybe, I mean, we're not seeing full buys, obviously, for Bravado Gaming, but we have noted their T sides to be a little lackluster in comparison to generally solid CT sides. Could that potentially give FAM143 a foothold back in this?
It does, but I just think that the gap between Bravado and FAM143 is just too big. You know, it's like 13-2 is like a really extreme turnaround to make. And Bravado are known for very good force buys, so they will attempt that on occasion. It's actually good to see that they've gone for very astute economic management here, as He's pushing out aggressively out of Ivy. He's going to kill Detrony, but Bravado's execute should be shut down here. Unfortunately, not any way for them to deal with the drop down area. Bomb will get killed through the smoke, and that'll be that.
That'll be that indeed. Interestingly, in that DreamHack Masters Marseille qualifier with Valiance and Co. and Heroic, it was actually Metu's casting with Blair, which I haven't seen before.
Yeah, that must have been an early night or late night or early morning for Blair, since he's, well,
very far in the future, yes, with the time zone. Did I lose you there? I think I may have lost him, so let's go back to what's going on here right now. Elusive trying to find the angle through the smoke here. Not finding anything just yet, but dealing a little bit of damage, but they've taken far more in return, which is quite upsetting, I think, if you're them. Siberia now making them dance. And the HP not looking so healthy for Bravado Gaming, but through the smoke, Detrony, he's doing some crazy stuff, this man. Next level. Guy posted on top of the train here, and he should have spotted ahead there potentially towards Olaf, and if he did, that'll be some good information for his team. Still a 4-on-4. Well, 4-on-5, sorry, what am I saying? There's so little HP though, it feels like a 4-on-4. And now on J-Chance, he's got himself the AUG, and he'll get a kill of clean headshot on Fady. He actually looks pretty good with a weapon, which is kind of an unusual sort of situation. So it was a 4-on-4. Detrony now coming in, and he's wrecking faces. He's continuing his good form here. Detrony just blowing this apart. And now Siberia And J Chance under a lot of pressure. The bomb planter could get caught, and he does get caught. In fact, Detrony, though, adding to his tally here on the 4K and looking for the ace. He's not going to find it. Siberia dropping him with the headshot. And JT rounding it out beautifully as well.
Hello again.
You're back. Okay, so I solo casted that one. Did your internet drop there?
I've no actual idea. The game kept playing, but the TeamSpeak server dropped, so I don't know what happened. But either way, Bravado well on their way to what should be a fairly dominant victory here, 15-5.
Yep. Plenty of space in which to breathe should they decide to do anything crazy, but they're not going to want to. They're going to want to close this out and get going because they have another game.
That they do. 2 games back-to-back, and 2 games back-to-back for us. Elusive grabs himself a kill on Laffy T's there.
3, in fact, for us, because we're also doing the Monday game too.
Okay.
And now you're going, geez, I didn't agree to that.
I don't remember agreeing to that, but apparently I'm being conned into it now. Bravado, they're being conned into nothing except the shot on Anzo there by Detrony, and all of a sudden the rest of Fam 143 at 6s and 7s now, and not looking great for them.
Not at all. Retake time though, 2v2, and that's... Ooh, I kind of felt like Elusive's angle there was perfect for getting that kill, but he fluffs it.
Yeah, that should have been a kill there by Elusive. Can Fam 143 win this?
They can, in fact. But now, similar sort of angle, finds himself the kill, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on J Chance here. J Chance caught running with the nade in hand. Not a great idea. And that's going to be that, unfortunately, all over.
Yeah, fairly simple in the end for the Bravado squad there. And, I mean, really just set up by Fam 143, clearly not having much of an idea of how to play the T side of Train.
Yeah, very much so. Not much to say about that, but I guess what we can do is pull up the stats for you guys, just so we can quickly revel in the big numbers. And there's some big numbers, yeah, if you're a Bravado fan, of course. Destiny getting himself a 30 bomb, 10 deaths, ADR of 127.1, and this is in an abbreviated game that went 16-5. Madness.
Yeah, I mean, almost got himself 2 aces at a stage, so
2
I think
4Ks.
that's... Yeah, that's mental.
Madness.
That's really mental. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is deceptive. Bravado clearly played a team that has no idea how to play Train, and Bravado is naturally good at Train, so they would have blown them out. I expected I wouldn't say 16-5, but given how bad one Fam was at stages, it's pretty fair reflection of Bravado in this map on Train against potential unknowns on it.
Quite so. Sonic also not finding a single kill in the second half, from what I can tell, because he was on 17 at the end of the first half. So I guess that's maybe an issue for them, but they are, of course, also switching around things, moving positions. So this was, I think, their first game post WESG, so not a lot of time to actually work on those changes.
Yeah, they would have been back, what, a couple of hours at most before this game would have had to be played. But either way, I mean, Bravado not going to complain too much. 15-5 at the end of the day is not something to be sniffed at. It gets them further up the log, and I think they would have been 13-1 at the end of this.
Yeah, so that's us on this first map. Back in a sec with the second map, which was also played on the same day. Last Friday. Well, CS greetings. Map 2, we're back. Train, and it's game 2, same morning, Friday morning, last week. Big Frames versus Bravado Gaming, and Big Frames are one of those teams sort of in the frame for playoffs, so it should be a closer matchup.
That it should. Night round is about to get underway. Collection of pandas should be up to the task of beating Bravado here, but we never know.
And of course, if you can't tell from having watched the first map, and that there is of course a video title and it says ESEA at the bottom, this is ESEA in North America, and it is Bravado looking for a place near the top to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, Bravado winning the knife there. We'll be taking the CT side, as is traditional on Train. And Big Frames will be looking to turn things around. Clearly, Bravado's last team, or last opponent on Train, had no idea how to play the T-side. Big Frames, I think, one of the top teams in North America in terms of ESEA main, so they should be able to put up a bit of a better fight, I would think.
Indeed. I like the clan tags too. Elusive doesn't like him though. Gets himself an instant headshot. 8 HP. And they're going to be running in here. Elusive going down. They rounded him out. But the kill's coming in from JT and Sonic. Sonic getting a double, in fact. And it's a 2-on-2 all of a sudden. Tough situation. Detrony probably needs to go big. He was going big on that first map.
Yeah. Ace and 2 4Ks was a big assist for Bravado here, as their pistols have looked slightly better since they've come back from China, and they're going to need to have another big one here as Detrony is going to try to take fights, and what a lovely shot there to end off the round.
I love those fadeaway headshots. That's really what it was. Ruining his armor. Why would you do that, Detrony?
Because he wants Sonic to spend money in the next round.
Yeah, you're never happy with your teammates when you do that, but clearly they're feeling good after the first matchup where they beat Fam 143 16-5. Jeez, that second shot from Detrony though. It's just like, okay, 1 bullet left in the chamber. I'll sort of casually clip him as I'm deciding to start running away.
Yeah, pretty faulty to end the round there. As Big Frames will need to... Well, it looks like they're setting up an execute here against Bravado. And really all about the timings. JT
there with the MP9 in a close position. Could be the snake in the grass here for them when they're running out A main. Hasn't revealed himself just yet, but it doesn't really matter because Fady getting the first couple. There's also Detrony and JT jumping in with those MP9s, getting some money in the bank. Welshie, though, the last man left alive, he's got a CZ. He doesn't got the bomb, so not a lot for him to do other than find a few kills, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. CZ is a pretty powerful gun, so he can certainly get a couple of kills. JT is also low, and Bravado has known to be a little bit aggressive when they are ahead, so Welshie, well, he'll grab the kill there on JT.
Trying to find that free CZ, and it just bounced off somewhere. You can see both of them, like, trying to find it. Didn't happen. 2-0, Bravado Gaming in a good situation at this point. For Big Frames, not so good on the money, so it will be the save. Only a single pistol upgraded on Defrin.
Yeah, Big Frames, I mean, don't really expect much out of this round. Bravado's going to try and farm as much money as they can. 2 guys on the UMPs.
Oh,
the rest on rifles.
Everybody ate that.
Huge nade.
Could be easy. Could it be another ace? No, it's not going to be. He gets denied. The 4K for Detrony. Defrin doesn't have the HP to do this, unfortunately, so no plant for them, no money injection, but they will have the buy in this round. Detrony's going to be a little annoyed, wishing he had maybe an extra bullet in the chamber there.
Yeah, he definitely will have been quite upset with himself there, and I mean, good to see that he's been a lot more effective at holding the B site than, I mean, even Sonic was having issues there. We know Fady always struggled a bit on the B side, so maybe moving the veteran over there. He does have that savvy, of course, after over many years of playing. Less likely to take the silly fights, but pretty effective. Only on a CZ this round. That's interesting.
He does have a weapon now. Odd stuff, but Detrony goes down, and there's Welshie. I thought he would pick that up. Drops Fady low, but now they're pushing up towards the connector area to hold off the retake. And you can see the kills flying in, the kills very much favoring the T's. And in fact, Church, well, throwing the church bench at them.
Yeah, doing whatever he can. It's not going to work out.
So fairly even start here, 3-1. It's still early days, of course, a fairly heavily CT favored map. But for Big Frames, an early round like this definitely will put them in the mood to try to take the fight to Bravado. And Detrony definitely in this round only on the CZ.
Yeah, very, very rough one there for Bravado at the end.
Kind of crazy that the guy who is anchoring a site who doesn't have any utility is left alone, and I think this could potentially bite them, except Fady comes in and bites back. Gets 2. Nervous now coming in with the plant. Detrony will look to strike at this point, and he does. Ooh, that was an oversight.
Yeah, big problem there from Big Frames. Just not checking the site entirely, not clearing out the B player in the end.
Detrony so smart on that peak though, hey? So 4-1 to Bravado Gaming. Big Frames in the frame. They got one, but they're going to need more.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, that last round shattered the Big Frames economy, so Bravado should be able to profit big time off of this round. Big Frames also not doing much to change that idea, as not a lot of them have purchased anything other than pistols. One player with armor, one player with smoke, and let's see what they can do. Detrini will be the first point man this round, according to Auto Director. Church and Tacitus, though, will be pushing up Ivy. Trying to make some noise happen down there. Nervous at the moment, just probably be jumping across here. I can't really see much else. Oh, spots Sonic, doesn't really want to take that extended range fight with a Glock there. Is elusive, he's going to get some friends, he's going to pick up a couple of them as well. Down goes 3, Sonic grabs another, and Bravado clean up a very easy round for them in the end. Big Frames will go down in flames. 5-1 at the moment. Bravado looking strong, but Big Frames should be able to buy on this round if they want to push their luck. Two players will not be able to get much more than an AK and armor, and they will in fact buy into it.
That's a bit risky out of them. They could have probably saved it a little bit more than they did in that previous round, actually looking at it. So Bravado Gaming now on the full buy, as they have been for quite a while now. Sonic with the AWP too. He's of course the primary AWP, as we were mentioning earlier. That's the change they've made since WESG. That was of course Detrini, who was the man for so many years tasked with the AWP in Bravado. I know there was a short stint where JT was announced in a press release as the AWP, and that sort of changed within a week. So Sonic, aggressive. See if Sonic will stick around on the AWP for a while. He won't stick around for a while in this round though. There's the kills coming in from Church. Trade now. And will he catch him off here? Church having a huge round here. Church is indeed big. Elusive going to find himself a kill there, and Bravado very quickly turning it around in what looked like it was Church and Big Frames round.
Yeah, that was a horrible turnaround for the boys there. 2-2 against Bravado, and then just 2 quick kills. Not aware of where Elusive was playing, and Detrini's fast flank through the connector area just ended up cutting them to pieces there. So Big Frames once again on the force buy to no, not even a force buy. It's actually just a pistol eco once again. Bravado looking super strong on their CT sides tonight.
Yeah, the Hail Mary pistol buy, and there's going to have to be a lot of Hail Marys because it's a terrible pistol buy. There's only really 2 here. They should have no chance in this round. Elusive spotting the herd running towards him. It's like The Walking Dead, the herd just running towards the sound. And they are now the very dead, not even walking, everyone planted.
Yeah, Sonic and Elusive both account for 2 there, and they're looking pretty good, must be said. Interesting note between the first game they would cast tonight and the second one is that JT and Fady have actually exchanged the role of deconnector rotator. It was JT on the first game that we watched, and looks like they've actually shifted it to Fady. It's an interesting one. I mean, both those players are pretty aggressive, but that was Sonic's forte, and you'd ideally expect him as the primary AWP to possibly be the primary rotator, but they've decided to leave him more as an anchor. Is dropped. Defrun is going no further in this round. Detrini just shutting him out.
Detrini the number 2 AWP, not playing like a number 2, and JT. Well, that can't feel good. And that angle there from Nervous. Nothing nervous in his shot there. Steady hand there. Lands a beautiful headshot on JT. So JT didn't have very long to bask in the glory of that original shot.
Oh, he did not. Sonic just holding the angle there is also, I mean, not an angle that you expect an AWP to be sitting at this stage of the game. Tastus, he's going to be pushing out sometime soon. I think he really is the linchpin flash. Sorry, Church is going to flash him out there. So Nervous tries to take the fight against Sonic, who will miss the shot, but Sonic instantly brings Church down. Elusive is going to account for another player. Nervous, the last remaining player on his team. It's a 1v3. I can't really see him winning this, but it would be spectacular if he can. It's not going to happen. Elusive spots him once again. And Bravado looking very, very good on this CT side at the moment.
Yeah, that first map very dominant for Bravado, and of course the first map was also train. It was against FAM143 here against Big Frames as well. Bravado proving dominant, so maybe the train is named Bravado, the one that's running over their opponents at this stage.
Yeah, the pain train. They have looked weaker on it against some of the top level opposition in North America, so it's good to see them trying to change things. It certainly does give them a lot of things to work on. Big Frames going to double save and only by enough for an execute this round. So the ideal probably will be just to get a single bomb plant and then maybe try and defend. Other than that, Sonic is going to start things off well with the kill on Tastus.
All the force by at least getting them a kill, yeah. Now they're pushing through. In fact, they get another kill as well. Things going a little bit wrong, and Detrony is so low. Nervous just wants him, and he gets the jumping headshot. That shouldn't happen. He got CSGO'd.
Yeah, he got absolutely wrecked there. It's a 2-on-3 right now and a 2-on-1. As I say that, Elusive not able to get even a single kill in that situation. And Bravado get run over by, I mean, nothing but CZs and armor, really.
Yep.
Power of smoke.
So a wrench thrown in the works of said train.
Yeah. Just as we said, the pain train got going, Big Frames pulls the brakes, and Bravado comes to a screeching halt in the 10th round.
So 8-2. Big Frame's still within a shot of having a decent result in this half if they can maybe stack up a few rounds together. Bravado's economy would have been built through that, but it's not invulnerable if they can stack a few rounds together and get rolling. It's very easy on a map like Train to break the CT economy, particularly because those AWPs are so crucial to their effort overall.
Yeah, and especially if you're running double AWPs, I mean, it is naturally a very, very expensive system to run. Is elusive enough just to survive that round. Took huge amounts of damage from the grenade and the spam. Will almost certainly be holding a little bit more of a passive angle. You don't want to be taking aggression at that point. Sonic, though, I mean, I mentioned he's not really the peak into an angle AWPer. He certainly is the hold an angle in an aggressive position AWPer.
It's going to be a fair bit of information for them as well, with the angle that Sonic is holding JC here as the backup as well. They're not rotating just yet, but you can see two players towards connector, so fairly aware of the possibility here, and some audio cue should be coming in any second now as they're getting ready. The double AWP on T side, that doesn't seem well suited to a rush into a bomb site, but let's see if Big Frames can make it work.
Yeah, Spadey's actually already rotated deep into the A side, so this rotation will be quick for Bravado. Detrony takes a fight a little bit too early, and he will go down there. Nervous getting that kill. Church on the late lurk. Could he get anything done? He should be catching off a couple of the Bravado players. Fady, though, is back in his old position, doing huge damage. He's got first, second, and third there in Tastus and Church, the last remaining players. Church starts things off well. The execution on Sonic. Elusive, though, is going to go down after getting the kill on Tastus there. And Fady, the last remaining player, he's going to hit him through the train, but that's not enough. It's all up on the young man. JT and Church. 4K on the round, and that will turn things around big time. Bravado 8-3, and they'll be on the save, so it should be big money here for Frames in the next round.
Huge individual effort there from Church. He shouldn't have gotten that on 23 HP. JT was aware of his position as well, relatively aware. You would have thought he'd land the first shot. It wasn't even a headshot out of Church that dropped JT, so a little bit of a fail there in the clutch, but Frames doing the work that was needed. Big Frames, of course, getting themselves to 3.
Yeah, and a hard 4-3 rounds it is. Interesting that Sonic is on the UMP and Detrony is on the AWP, so maybe just better positioning. He can hold, obviously, the Brown holds a lot more effectively with that AWP than he could with the UMP. Sonic getting a little bit too cheeky, I think, as well. She's actually going to push out from Pop Dog. Nobody's watching that area, and Elusive will get wrecked.
Yeah, that all went very wrong. As you said, Sonic maybe being a bit too cheeky with that initial molly, because that gave his position up big time considering the angle it came at. Oh, the no-scope from Welshie. Replied on by Detrony, but maybe it's time to get out now, man. Low HP on JT. And unless JT can stack up a couple kills here, it might already be time to save considering the economy.
Yeah, you can see Bravado already calling it quits on this round. They'll give it to Big Frames, make certain that they can get enough to either buy in the round after next, or perhaps they've lost 3 rounds. Okay, trying something different. Yeah, he needs to get out now. There's no point taking chances.
He's actually just lucky he managed to cross there after taking so much damage that nobody was actually holding the angle. So the 2 weapons should be saved here for Bravado, but Detrony taking a big chance. Overall, though, Big Frames getting themselves well back into this game, considering a pretty slow start.
Yeah, Bravado up at 8-1. It's now going to be 8-4. Really having a bit of a shaky time in the last few rounds, and JT. Ooh,
1 HP.
1 HP. Yeah. Bravado will not be able to buy in this round, and they should not. Just allow big frames to get up to 5 rounds, makes it you have enough to buy in, and then try to close out a 10-5 half. I mean, 10-5 is not the best half, but it certainly is well within acceptable range as a CT side.
Not the worst indeed. 8-4 ESEA main North America. Two of the top challengers here for the playoffs, challenging one another, and there's JT taking the fight, taking the challenge upon himself to trade it back. And he gets another, in fact. JT with one of the only weapons here, only one of 2 weapons doing huge damage. If he'd gotten that kill, Defrin on 2 HP, if Defrin had been dead there, I'd say it'd be a Bravado round.
Yeah, that would have been heavily favored for Bravado. They do have a lurk coming through the T connector. Defrin is in position to hold something like that. Defrin is boosted up. The AWP might give his position away though. This long weapon is something that a lot of players don't expect. Elusive though is going to catch Tacitus, who certainly didn't expect him to be in that position. Church is going to spot the first player. He's going to catch Sonic. No, he's not. Sonic wins the fight with a P250. No armor. Defrin on hand to turn things around though. Elusive, last remaining player. He does not have time. Has no kit. Does have a bomb though. Sorry, AK. But it's not worth saving. Defrin does die.
Okay, so that'll hurt them. He picked up the kit on the way out, of course, did Elusive, and by that point it was just too late. So nothing much to be done there, but they did make it almost winnable. Had it just been a little bit quicker, possibly on the flank from Elusive, I think the round could have been there. So still 8 for Bravado Gaming, 5 here on big frames, and 5, like a 10-5 half, is actually pretty acceptable on the T side of this map. I think they're looking good for more here.
Yeah, both teams will be. I think big frames will be happier given how they started. Bravado with an 8-1 lead would have been very disappointed to only get a maximum of 10 rounds, if indeed that is what they do. Big frames on the rush though. They're going to run out and they're going to meet Detrini, who is in a bad mood. It kills both of them. Nervous though, shuts him down and his aggression. Fady, he's going to have to get the timing correct, or is he's going to smoke deep, get himself up close here. This might very well be the play. Does big frames think about this kind of play though?
They should be suspecting something.
He does indeed suspect correctly. Elusive goes down. Phyllis Fady. Sonic with that big green is going to be doing huge damage. Welchie, the last remaining player now. 1v2. JT is low though. Not that it matters. And Sonic happy to accept the flying Welchie.
Yeah, it drops him in short order there. 3 HP on JT, but it's not going to matter. And Detrini with the first 2 kills, I think that Molly really put him in a good position to stop the 2 players, because you can see it was a split. He drops the Molly, kills the 2 players coming out of the top, because clearly the communication broke down there for big frames, and that held off the 3 ramp players. So I think big frames, they're making it a little bit too easy for them, but still nearly winning the round.
Yeah, and that is the power of the utility on train. We've seen a lot of players, particularly someone like Stewie and Taz, once they do have the molly, especially down on the ramp, they can just completely and utterly control that B site with some ease. Big frames will be desperate to get as much as they can. They'll be looking for that 6th round, but they're going to be running into Sonic, who picks up the first, picks up the second, and once again, it just seems like Duck Hunt at this point. Well, she does get a kill onto Sonic, but it's not enough. JT and Fady clean up the round.
Nice and easy does it, the 10-5 for Bravado, so still a dominant half, you'd say, at the 10-5, but also you were mentioning big 5, I want to say big frames. I casted big 5 last night, I'm sorry. I said it so many times over the period of a couple of hours in that best of 3. Big frames, they were 8-1 down, and to bring it back to 5, I think they'd be fairly satisfied.
Yeah, they'll be very, very happy. As I said, Bravado, given that you started 8-1, I think you can be quite disappointed that it ended at 10-5, but it's not the end of the world. Once again, 2 players with utility, which is a little bit unusual in terms of general T play. You'll often see only 1 player, maybe 2, but it'll be upgraded pistols at the very least, not 2 players with utility.
So Welshie, the man here, waiting to receive them, he saw the jump past. So that'll be a little bit of information for them. Detrini on the lurk here, just trying to bait out some kind of reaction from Church. Church, however, remaining immovable like the archetypical Church bench.
Yeah, he's got a 5-7.
Oh.
better, and you're just getting the timing slightly incorrect there.
I love the great big cojones on that man that he stayed watching, staring at the flash, waiting for them, and Welshie and Tacitus also waiting for them here. Nervous and different. I like how they're doubling up on these peaks here from big frames. This is good play from them. Sonic, the man, in a 1v5, he needs to ace here to win the round.
And that's not the way to do it. Takes a little bit of damage. He's going to get peeked by 3 players, gets 1. But unfortunately, quantity has a quality all its own. And Sonic will get finished by the big frames gents there.
The wordplay, I applaud you, sir.
Thank you.
So Tacitus, the one man sort of lagging behind on the server overall, he's got 3 kills, 15 deaths. That's probably not good enough.
Yeah, it feels like one of those games for Tacitus where it's just, you know, you can never get going, you get hit in the side of the head the whole time, run through smokes, get shot in the face. Either way, I mean, big frames still within a shot. They have 1 pistol, should be in a pretty good spot. Bravado with the natural force buy after losing the first pistol, or after losing the pistol. And are they going to get anything done? Why does Fady have his knife out on a rush? He's going to get the kill in the end, though, but dangerous. He does turn things around. 2 kills there, as Nervous is just spraying players down left and right. JT will be the last one, but big frames, you get a little bit nervous there. I think if they'd gotten a couple of more kills on the Bravado side, that would have definitely been, well, 1 more kill, I think they would have been in with a shot. But thankfully, Nervous doesn't live up to his name and actually just sprays down most of the Bravado players.
Yeah, I think, as you pointed out, Fady's weapon switch at that point is he ran right into the face of the player that killed his 2 teammates, and he was still busy equipping the weapon. I think perhaps if he had the weapon equipped, they probably wouldn't have died. Might have been the difference maker. I mean, again, it's all conjecture, all a theory, but yeah, they probably expected him to have their left flank anyway there, but yeah, they won't have much of a chance in this round.
Yeah, well, Tacitus will add to his 3 kills, and he's holding that upper area. Could very well find himself with a couple more on the way to him. No, BVD just going to fall back for the moment. Nervous is apparently who Order Director is most interested in, and Tacitus, he's the man holding the charge, and he's going to be coming up big. 4 kills on the round as well. She does assist with the last. Big frames though, 8 to 10, and Bravado is on their first buy. They'll have a decent one here. No AWP though, which could come back to bite them. And they will be somewhat light on utility on a couple other players.
Sonic. Is he going to pick up a weapon? Does, in fact. I thought he might have been timing out or something like that. Thankfully, nothing like that happening here. 10 to 8, Bravado still in the lead. The big frame showing that they certainly are no slouches when it comes to the CT side on this map. And oof, that does not feel good. It lands on the crown of his head.
Yeah, those really are the worst.
You see it coming, but you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you run away, you take potentially more damage. If you stand still, you maybe get past it. If you move forward, they'll be holding the angle, so gotta just take it. Unfortunately, as Sonic,
how did he get out of that?
Yeah, I mean, in 3 angles with players watching, and Fady's gonna win a fight through smoke there with D-front. And Nervous, Sonic must have spotted him. Yeah, there we go. Nervous gets wrecked. And Sonic taking a fight at range. Church is actually gonna somehow win that with a FAMAS.
He re-picked that, did Sonic. Probably didn't need to do that, but feeling confident. Destiny, though, overall tonight, having a good time of it. It's just down to the 2 CTs that are left here, and they've got T's swarming all over the bomb site. Tacitus there, he was like the snake in the grass, just showed up, but they put him down quickly.
Yeah, it did feel like Bravado actually lost information on where he was, and that was a major issue. You do not want to allow a CT to be able to wander through the site like that. It can really come back to bite you if you aren't aware of what he's doing and what weapons he has. Thankfully, he only had the UMP and was quickly turned around on, but Bravado broken the big frame's money. That is a big thing for them. They should be able to open up a healthy lead here. Sonic cops a bit of damage from the nade. Nervous, unfortunately, just not enough time before that smoke bloom to get himself to safety.
Certainly knows an angle or 2, does our Sonic. And for big frames on the less than stellar buy. Not going to help them against pretty much everything that Bravado could ever want in their wildest dreams in terms of equipment. They've got it, and they're getting the kills too.
That's a couple of rounds now where Big Frame's actually just left Ivy completely open and gotten backstabbed through it by Elusive leading the charge. I mean, they don't know where Church is at this point. He's going to get the kill on Sonic, and that will announce his presence. Somehow gets a second, and that'll actually be JT, the bomb planter. So BVD won't be happy about that. You definitely do not want to be leaving your bomb planter to the Wolves, and Big Frame's doing a reasonable amount of damage considering the investment into that round. They will actually be running double orbs of their own on the CT side now. It does severely limit their ability to retake sites. Certainly is going to cut heavily into the utility onto the, well, in the holding of the sites. So Bravado with this chance here, if they can get into the sites quickly and up on top of the AWPers, Big Frames could find those big weapons, slowing them down significantly.
Big Frame's still showing a fairly solid CT side here, so you'd expect them to be able to hit back at some point here. And, of course, running out of rounds in which to do it. Bravado only needing 4, and Sonic only needing a sniff of that kill to get it. Nervous goes down, and he's picked Nervous a few times now, early on in these rounds.
Yeah, that smoke actually just baiting Nervous. Nervous figured something was up, so just trying to get on top of the T-connected train and getting shot in the chest by Sonic there. I mean, cleverly played there by Bravado, just seeing if they could bait Big Frames into an ill-advised information play, and didn't quite work out for the boys.
The team with the Panda picks. Well, Pandas are hugging things in the picks, but they don't want to hug Bravado here. Bravado
Really not.
dishing out the pain.
Yeah, that it is. Sonic will be dropping the bomb over to JT for some undisclosed reason. Detrinier, though, that's going to be the third attempt at that position. And this first time it goes down. Fady, though, quick shot there will remove Tastus, and she's gonna peek directly into Sonic's AWP. And Big Frames, this is where those AWPs come back to bite them. You got one AWP, they are very difficult to retake with. You can almost see Big Frames already calling it quits. They want no part of this. 2 on 4. Don't know the damage dealt to the Bravado gaming players, but it certainly isn't enough to convince them to try.
Yeah, Big Frame's noping out on this one. And so they should, considering the economy. For Bravado Gaming, a pretty good round overall. You'd almost feel like that early pick again, setting them up to kind of choose where they want to go from there. And it's unfortunate for Big Frames that Nervous has been picked a couple times now.
Yeah, Sonic has done a number on the... I mean, I wouldn't say he's the entry player, but it certainly does feel like it at times. Church gets the final kill on Elusive there, as Bravado goes 13-8. And looking good for another solid win here on Train. Big Frames doesn't have much of anything. Those 2 weapons could come back to bite Bravado, though. AK and an AWP could do some severe damage if placed in the correct spots, and Bravado isn't good at clearing out the angles, so... Flash comes through, and looks like a fast play from Bravado this time, just trying to get on top of the Big Frames players who they assume will be saving, but Defran is going to start things off well with a kill on JT there.
Oh, Elusive on that angle. Finding a beautiful kill, but Church replying, yeah, all on Tacitus, though. He's only got a CZ to work with, and he needs to dance, and he's not going to be able to dance enough. Elusive planting him in the ground. And that's Bravado inching one closer to the win. 14-8, only 2 rounds to go here for the South African team over the North Americans from Big Frames.
Yeah, the one pity there, Bravado not able to save the AWP, so that's going to come back to hurt them in terms of the economy. If they lose this round, they do still have enough to buy into the next round, so it's not the end of the world, but Big Frames, they are locked and loaded. Defran with the big green, and he's looked pretty good when he's been able to get it, although it must be said he hasn't had many opportunities. Flash is going to come through, it's going to slow that aggressive Ivy push, and that fight is going to be a big one, and that might very well decide the round here as well. She gets ahead of the Flash. Does he know that Sonic's there? No, he doesn't, but he's going to get the Trini anyway. Sonic is going to try to get something. Quick peek, not going to quite work out. Ooh, Defran doing huge work, and Church chiming in as well.
Well, this has turned around quite a bit in this particular round. Big Frame is now odds on for a 9, as opposed to the 8 they've currently got, because of the work towards Ivy there. It just seemed to be what started things off. And you mentioned Defran can look good with that AWP. The one kill that he got there. Pretty stylish stuff.
Yeah, and good to see from Big Frames that they do decide to challenge Ivy. There's been, like as I said, a number of rounds where Bravado has been able to lurk out Ivy late with nobody covering it. This time that's not going to happen. Defron, though, left to dry by his friends. That should never have happened with 4 players alive. 5 actually alive before Sonic brings it into a 3 versus 2. Church, though, is going to absolutely murk Elusive there, and Tacitus will be providing a bit of assistance. Moral support, really, as Sonic, the last remaining player. Can't see him winning this.
Oh, that was so close, that flick. Jeez. Doesn't make it.
No, he doesn't. And double AWPs once again for Big Frames, and they look pretty solid when they could use these things. Nervous and Welshie are the 2 guys in... Well, actually no, Welshie and Defron.
So the real question here, the question that's the most important to me, which panda is the cutest?
The middle one. Because it's a dude wearing a giant panda head.
You want some personification there, huh?
No, I don't. I don't know. I think the sleeping panda church that has is pretty sweet. Fade's going to take a shot there. Doesn't quite work out. But that molly is going to effectively prevent Tacitus from getting any assistance. Although they're not going to watch the angle, they surely should have been aware that the molly was going to turn out or burn out soon, and Welshie punishes them for their lack of awareness. Elusive, though, gets the kill on Tacitus. Although peeking this aggressively, they are known to have AWPs, so that could come back to bite Elusive.
Jeez, Elusive nearly catching him off as well, but Church, one of the players who's done really well, gets a kill there, and that's going to help them out. Only the CZ on Detrony, so when it does come to retake, assuming they even get into the site, not going to be the best weaponry for them, and they're committing to this. Church is up close. Totally telegraphed.
And Church, he can clearly listen pretty damn well and read pretty damn as well, because Sonic is not able to do anything, and the telegraph was bad. I think Bravado, that was way too easy to see it coming.
Yeah, they've been trying to brute force it a few times, yeah, and Big Frames, clearly they're equal when it comes to aim, you got to say.
Yeah, I think that's really been down to Bravado getting some very good momentum-breaking rounds in the early, in the first half, which just prevented Big Frames from really being able to buy up fully, which meant they were often running against Bravado with underpowered weaponry. So Big Frames on the CT side has looked far more solid thus far. It is 10-14, so they're starting to turn things around slowly, but Bravado is still well favored to win this game.
Yep, we could have gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning to cast this, and instead we're doing it at 10 o'clock at night, and I feel equally tired either way. But what is reviving me is my love for Counter-Strike, and I love seeing how these teams are going at each other here. Detrony with their Deagle through the smoke. Sometimes I get worried when watching those X-rays. Of course, the players can't see it, but when you're looking at those, you think, oof, there could be a chance. And Detrony doing big damage.
Super aggressive in comparison to the rest of his team. Bravado has gone with the... Oh, okay, Church. That's a smart play there. Here's the pin being pulled in, decides to take the fight early. Defron's going to remove JT. Sonic is still alive, though. He's got that AK, not for long, as Church teaches him a valuable lesson in timing. Fady goes down in the end, though, before he can get the bomb plant off. Big Frames, 11-14, and the comeback trail looking good at this point for the Big Frames boys.
Church looking good there, sitting pretty at 24-18 at the top of the scoreboard for his team. The rest of the team a little bit below him. On Bravado you've got Sonic and Detrony who are up there in the 20s. But Big Frames overall, they're putting in the effort, they're putting in what's needed here, and they're drawing ever closer, and it no longer looks like a foregone conclusion at all.
No, it doesn't. Tacitus, nice recovery as well, up at 10 kills, so finally cracking the double digits there. And I think his plays, especially on the B side, he is tasked with a very difficult one. And hasn't done too shabbily, considering that Bravado on occasion have pressured him pretty heavily.
So pushing out A main here, getting a little bit of space as Sonic. Tacitus playing an incredibly passive position. That's probably a good position to get your headshot off, right?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing there, and that's a very good position to get an easy kill. Definitely just stepping into the angle with only an AK, and Efren well up to that task as he puts down the Bravado captain.
Bit too much of a shoulder peek. It was more of a torso peek there, so doesn't work out for Detrony at all. And Nervous, well, aim shaking all over the place, but it is too different. Also getting him, shall I say, different, getting himself a kill. And there's the trades coming in, Welshie rounding it out. Bravado only getting the single kill in response.
Yeah, Big Frames are swiftly catching up to the front-running Bravado, and this is the one problem that BVD has had. Their T-sides have not looked good in general. Train is also not a map that's conducive to great T-sides as well, so Bravado really need to find their groove here. They are known to force buy. They're going to do a half a one at this point, but I do think that it's probably just safer. Make certain that you have as much utility as possible as Fady catches a grenade with his head, starts off the round pretty low HP.
Could be a footballer, man, but comes in there. They're not watching his back. That is unfortunate for Defra, and he's going to be upset with that. Church, though, now coming in and dropping Fady. Fady, of course, had no armor either, so the fact that Big Frames are even down by one shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, well, that was a sexy deagle shot. Of course, Fady, known for some pretty filthy deagle play in South Africa, showing that he can certainly do it online in America as well. And the bomb will actually go down. That's a huge win for Bravado, considering the amount of investment in this round for them. Nice
shot from Welshie, though. Got to say, that's always a difficult angle to hit, but it's oh so satisfying when you do. Tactus getting himself a kill then. Detrony with the try, bringing it into a 2v2, which is probably one of those situations that shouldn't be as well, but that is what should be when you pick up that gun. The triple kill for Welshie gets the double spray down. Looking to recover those double AWPs as well. Doesn't have a lot of time, though.
Yeah, and Bravado actually will be very pleased with that round. 3 armor buys, a couple of pistols. I mean, that was a pretty huge win for Bravado, considering.
Yeah, what they invested versus the actual result, they're pretty good. And Big Frame's able to buy the second AWP because of the money stacking up. I actually thought they might have had less money than that, all things considered, but it works out 14-13. Yeah, Bravado only one ahead now, so Big Frame's drawing ever closer, and they're looking pretty good while doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Frame's problem is that this comeback has started a little bit too late in terms of the buying power that they do have, so they might have tons of money, but they really can't afford Bravado to even win one round, because it will put them in a severe case where, you know, like, small mistakes can end up costing you the game at this stage. Defrin going to take a bit of damage to the smoke. There's Fady doing the good old spam.
Just poking about.
Yeah. Big Frames holding passively once again. They've had a much more passive hold on Ivy than BVD did, and that might come back to bite them here as Detrony once again able to get very, very deep into Ivy. And they're going to burn Church out.
Here comes the double drop.
But he's waiting for this.
Oh, but they burn him anyway. He drops the fire to try burn them, but Fady burns him by destroying his face. And Detrony now finding the kill through the smoke. Shot whistled past him, but didn't find him. And things unraveling here, unfortunately, for Big Frames. Detrony, they're playing the perfect lurk, and it's going to be rounded out, you would think, considering Nervous is so low.
Well, she with a mammoth task on his hands, and it's not going to even get off to this potential start there. Sonic shoots him. That will be that. Big Frames 13-5, and this is where that round where they lost so many players could come back to bite them.
Yeah, fully invested now. Still with the double AWP though. I'm kind of surprised they were able to afford that Big Frames, but they will have the double AWP. It's been fairly effective for them, but of course it's an immobile solution to holding things down. If you're in the retake scenario, you are going to suffer a little bit. Welshie getting aggressive. Is he going to stand in the fire? Roasts, in fact. Probably being a little bit too aggressive there. Oh, that angle for Sonic. He barely saw him.
Yeah, that was just pinpoint precision there. And definitely, you can't really do a whole lot against that. And it's one of the AWPs removed. Welshie, the last remaining AWP. And he do a whole lot of anything. Detrony absolutely murks Tastus, who does get the headshot That's when you just hate CSGO and hate CS in general because of the underpowered nature of those M4s against the AKs. Things are being traded out now. Nervous with a huge play here. He's going to get 3 kills. Can he do it? Bravado. It's a 2-on-2 at the moment. Bravado, though, does have some very big players. Tetrany on that AWP. And Elusive. 2 clutch kings in this team. Can they do much? Unfortunately, Big Frame's not really in a position to help each other out. Players on the opposite ends of the map. And neither of them really capable of controlling the bomb from the spot. So Bravado, I'd say at this point, still slightly favored in the round.
Should be. When it's a 2v2, of course, the defense is going to struggle. Bravado now dropping some of that utility. They don't have control of the bomb, of course. They're going to... Oh, he picks up a second smoke, in fact. Elusive, it's like Christmas out here.
Well, she is going to go down there as Elusive gets the kill. Very, very important round now for Big Frames. Nervous would have to ace here to get his team the win and a potential turnaround. They will actually kill Bravado's money dead if they win this round. So Nervous, can he do it?
Of course,
Elusive's got... Yeah.
Map point as well, eh?
Yeah, I mean, Elusive's gotten to probably the best position for himself, although that 12 HP could come back to bite him big time. Flash is available to him. Kit available to Nervous, though, so who has the nerves of steel?
Oh, jeez, he can't see him, but he's convinced he's up here. Goes up the ladder and tries his very level best. He's going to drop the flash as well. And Elusive will make no mistake. Nervous knew exactly where he was, but not able to get it. And that is the game, folks.
Yeah, Bravado taking it 16-13 in the end, and squeaky bum moments there for the South African side as they did allow a pretty solid comeback against the guys in Big Frames, but in the end, enough to clutch it out. So BVD continue on their trek, 14-1 in ESEA main, and I mean, we shouldn't need to say it, but I think probably a lock for the top spot in ESEA main for the season.
Yeah, one would think so. Bringing up the stats here quickly for this particular matchup. Tetrany again. He got a 30 bomb in the previous game. Gets himself 27. Yeah, Sonic again is partner in crime. The next guy down on 23. And on the other side, Church was the guy doing the big damage, trying to take everybody to Sunday school, but they didn't want to go.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough one for him, unfortunately. Did his best, but Bravado, I think, just a better team overall in that game, and duly knocked them over.
Yep, so we got one more coming up. We've done the 2 Friday games, and this will be the Monday game. So the game that would have just been, well, quite a few hours before we recorded this on Monday. Hey, you were expecting a third map, I gather, FakeOutNation versus Bravado, because it says it in the title. But you're not going to get it. FakeOutNation decided to throw the match, and therefore were banned by ESEA 140 days for each player. So score was 14-4. All FakeOutNation needed was 14, and then they needed to lose it. And the reason for that is they would have gotten better seeding going into the playoffs, this being the last map of the actual regular season. So in so doing, it would have given them a playoff berth where they avoided Bravado and therefore wouldn't have to face them early on in the playoff stages. And instead, they got banned for 140 days by ESEA. I'm not going to debate the morality of the ban, whether they should have been banned for throwing or not, or what the rules of ESEA are, because I don't know what they are. Honestly, I just don't really care to go down that road. And when it comes to the actual game, we didn't manage to cast it live because we got back quite late from the Elite Pro 1337 LAN in Nelspruit, and then had a Masters cast. I only got to bed quite late and had quite limited sleep over the weekend, so we couldn't get up for a 4 o'clock in the morning game on Monday. So we tried to record a cast of it on Monday night, and this was before the threads were out there and there was the information about that it was actually a throw. So from that point of view, we thought it was a regular game. We casted it as normal. We were recording the VOD so the South African fans could actually see Bravado, and well, it was a throw, and it was a complete shit show. There was no point in putting that out there. They're running around trying to knife Bravado players, buying shotguns, auto snipers, all sorts of silly things, and jumping when they were being shot at. They didn't even try to make it look like it was a legit game. It was very clear that it was a throw, so there's nothing to be learned by publishing it or for people to watch. So we just decided to cut it. I'm just telling you guys in case you don't know about the controversy around it. So again, to recap, FakeOutNation versus Bravado. The score was 14-4 to FakeOutNation. Bravado were having a tough time, and then FakeOutNation threw the game so that they could try get themselves a better seed in the playoffs, and instead got banned for 140 days by ESEA. So, unfortunate, no game for you to watch, but there's the information. If you want to know more about it, go over to Reddit and read the threads on it. It's still on the front page, and you can also go look on the ESEA forums. Of course, myself, Profeci, and a couple of my other partners in crime like Anthrax and Penguin will probably try to bring you some of the playoff games, Bravado games, or otherwise in ESEA Man North America. But in the meantime, sorry, no third map, only a talking head. I hope you enjoyed the other 3 maps, and we'll bring you some more casts in the future. Take care.